Magic Johnson. Say that name out loud and you feel it. A rush of light, a familiar chord you've hummed for decades. But before the trophies, before the Showtime glitz, there was a boy in Lansing who learned how to carry the world on his shoulders. Tonight, we're not replaying stats. We're walking the quiet rooms behind the fame. The mornings before the arena lights, the losses that never made headlines, and the small, steady choices that taught an athlete to become a man. If you grew up watching him, sit back. This one's for you. He was born Earvin Johnson Jr., August 14th, 1959. 10 siblings, one cramped house, and parents who worked until their hands remembered the names of every hardship. There are pictures you remember from TV. Magic's smile, his no-look pass, but here's what the cameras never captured. A little boy who rode on a garbage truck with his father and felt the sting of being called Trash Boy. That name didn't bruise him for a day. It lingered. It shaped him. Those early hurts taught him two things. One, humiliation is heavy, and you learn to hide it in your chest. Two, the place that never judged him was the court itself. Before dawn, while the neighborhood still slept and winter breathed frost onto the rims, he practiced alone. Dribble, step, pass. He learned to make people feel something, not by shouting, but by giving them a moment so perfect it felt like light. A single high school game changed everything. 36 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists. A reporter whispered a name that would follow him forever. Magic. It fit him like a glove and like a burden. He loved it, but he also feared it. Who could live up to that? Then grief cut across his life in the worst way. Reggie, the teammate who'd been the first to truly believe in him, was killed in a car accident when Magic was still a teenager. That loss did not make him softer. It made him steady. When he and his team later hoisted a state championship trophy, he didn't shout. He lifted it slowly, pointed it upward, as if to say, "This is for you." That's the kind of man he became. Someone who turned private sorrow into public purpose. At Michigan State and then with the Lakers, the brilliance arrived fast. He didn't just play, he rewrote what a point guard could be. He was grace in motion. 5 championships. 3 MVPs. Those passes you still show your kids. But the game also demanded a price. Travel, 82 game seasons. Injuries that don't make the highlight reels. Nights when he lay on a locker room floor and asked, "Lord, let me stand tomorrow." Fame gave him everything, and it asked everything in return. And then came the darkness people remember as a rupture in time. November 7th, 1991. Magic announced he had HIV and would retire. Remember the silence that followed? In 1991, HIV carried terror and ignorance. It wasn't just a diagnosis. It was a public exile. Suddenly, the public's hero was a figure of fear. Friends hesitated. Colleagues stepped back. The game he loved, the locker room that had been sanctuary, felt foreign. What many forget is this. After the announcement, Magic didn't shrink. He rebuilt. He didn't just save himself. He refocused his life. He walked the neighborhoods others thought weren't worth the trouble. Bought rundown theaters. Opened businesses where banks wouldn't invest. He bet on people the world had forgotten. And he was often mocked for it. But he kept going. His Starbucks investments in underserved neighborhoods, projects to revive communities. But the victories didn't erase the private wounds. Relationships frayed, then mended. A young love with Melissa Mitchell became fatherhood quickly and imperfectly. A son, Andre, who would grow into an ally and partner later in life. He married Cookie, weathered terrifying public storms when he disclosed his illness right after they wed. And together, they raised a family through fear and also through fierce loyalty when his son EJ came out as gay. Magic's first instinct was raw concern, not because of who EJ was, but because he feared a world that had hurt him would hurt his boy. Cookie's quiet wisdom, love him first, learn him later, anchored him. They learned together, they grew together, and the fear visited them again in a different form. Those moments, the near losses, the sleepless nights, are the soft, dark rooms where real character is made. Today, at 66, Magic Johnson is more than a basketball legend. He is a man who learned how to carry loss without letting it harden him. He takes his medication on time. He trains because movement is medicine. He rises early to walk and to keep his body as a temple of survival. He's wealthy, yes, a billionaire who owns homes that look like sanctuaries and stakes in teams that define cities. But the thing he guards most fiercely is time with his family and the chance to pass something enduring to his children and grandchildren. So why does this story matter to you, sitting where you are now? Because Magic's life is a mirror. It shows how shame can be a starting point, how grief can be a forge, and how a man can remake himself not by refusing pain, but by choosing what to build with it. It reminds us that courage is often private. The quiet faith to take a step the world says is foolish. The discipline to take a pill on time. The humility to learn when your child teaches you how to love better. If this moved you, press like for the player who taught a city and a generation to dance again. Share this with someone who remembers where the games used to be on the dial, and with someone who needs the reminder that reinvention is possible at any age. Magic Johnson's story isn't finished. It's a lifetime of small, steady rises, and he's still rising.